Roger Bennett is our soccer expert. We're fortunate to have him. Men in Blazers. They've got Encyclopedia Blazertanica. It's available now. And the Men in Blazers podcast available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Last time he was on with us, he was telling you about English pain and suffering. He knows they're going to lose. He knew they're going to lose. But Harry Kane, Roger, Harry Kane has England in his grasp. Are you a believer now?
Oh, gold jewelry shining so bright, strawberry champagne on ice. I don't know. All I know, there's going to be so many babies born in England in 9 months' time who, whether they're a boy or a girl, they're all going to be called Harry.
So wait a minute. Is Harry a sex symbol? We were arguing about this earlier. We think he's impossibly handsome. He's impossibly great in the penalty area.
Hey, Roger, my wife has never asked me a soccer question in 20 years of knowing her, and she asked me who that guy was, and who that guy was Harry Kane.
What is happening with Harry Kane in England right now, Roger? Are you a believer?
He's such an English archetype, Harry Kane. He looks like he's just jumped out of a Sopwith camel after shooting down German fighters and saved us in the Battle of Britain. This is the Battle of Britain of our generation. This is their generation's finest hour. I have to tell you, England are in a World Cup semi-final. England are in a World Cup semi-final. Words I didn't think I would utter in my lifetime. They are as out of place in a World Cup semi-final as Alan Dershowitz evidently is on Cape Cod. I guess in a year in which the Philadelphia Eagles have won the Super Bowl, in which the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup, maybe we shouldn't be surprised yet, but it is remarkable to
Roger,
watch.
you told us to be surprised. You can't be not surprised now, Roger. You told us it would be the most surprising thing ever if England made a run.
Roger.
He doesn't trust them.
No, Roger knows, and he shouldn't trust them. At least he can't
He trusts them now. He trusts them now.
He can't
does.
say, no, Roger.
He's saying it right now.
Damn, but the rules of fandom, you can't say it. Roger,
he is saying it.
Roger, you have to not believe
you
right
believe.
up until the point
Roger,
that they do it, and then you believe.
Roger, you believe.
Yeah, there's a great scenario that this is just the greatest rise before the fall. And the honest truth is, when I say that we are self-sabotaging, that we revel in failure, to some degree, I'm managing my own expectations. But you also need to understand, England, for decades of my life, England's finest went through this repeat cycle where they would, before the World Cup, be goaded by tabloid journalists to don bowler hats or kind of metal kind of World War II infantry hats, wrap themselves in an English flag with a bulldog under their arm and say, "We're going to do it, lads. We're going to win it this time." And we'd all believe and we'd all get excited, a bit like Charlie Brown charging at a football with Lucy Holding. And then we just watch them, a vicious cycle of doom, self-sabotage, failure. They just played as if they were weighed down by an England jersey, the weight of chainmail. And this young team, this incredibly young team, there may be parallels in American sports that you're aware of, gents. They went before this World Cup and said something that was so revolutionary from an English perspective. They said, we're just going to have some fun. We're just going to go and enjoy it. Now, no English soccer players enjoyed a World Cup as long as they've been alive.
Hold on a second.
And they did, though. Go on.
No, Isner just had a 133-mile-an-hour serve, and
it was break point.
Right, no, and Tsitsipas hit the ball into the line judge because he just had no chance. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Roger.
Yeah. That's okay. There's only one man who could have returned that, and that's Harry Kane. He would have returned it with his head.
That's right.
That's right. It would have gone right down the line.
Yes. Is it coming home? Is it coming home?
It could well be, because these guys are young, they're humans, not gods. They're fully aware of their own strengths and weaknesses. They're just enjoying themselves, and they're living out one of Churchill's truest quotes: success is the ability to go from one failure to another without a loss of enthusiasm. So we'll see. But it's also been, the downside is you can see who they played thus far. There's no team in sports who've ever got as deep into playoffs, which essentially these are, the World Cup knockout rounds, without ever really playing a good side. They played Tunisia, a Panama team who, like most pub teams, would beat. They lost to a Belgium second string. They then beat Colombia, who were without their star player, their QB, if you want, James Rodriguez, and they beat an average Sweden. But there we are in the semi-final, like the Las Vegas Golden Knights of soccer.
It's coming home, though, that whole song, that whole thing. It's annoying, right? It is.
Yeah, so your listeners who don't know what that is, it's a song that's even more annoying, if this is possible, than That's What I Like by Bruno Mars. It was a song that was recorded by two amazing comedians in 1996. two young English comedians. It was almost a joke. It was a song that admitted that we always raise hopes and then we crap them. We're England. Football's coming home. It's, our rightful. We invented the game. And it played off the nostalgia and the sadness of being an English fan. And the more we failed, which we have done a lot. I mean, Iceland beat us in the last major tournament, bare bottom spanking. The more we lost, the more this ironic, naive kind of one self-referential wonder, it's coming home, became a joke. It was never coming home. But now, all over England, even Prince Bloody William, there's memes galore saying it's coming home. And the nation, to be honest, that's kind of been riven, that's been torn apart by the geopolitics of Brexit, it has got a moment of happiness, a moment of wonder. What borders on unity? I wouldn't say there's complete unity, but what borders on unity?
Borders of unity. Where hooliganism resides, the borders of unity.
All it took was for me to become an American and England become bloody good. That's all.
Wow, the Stugatz is strong in you. Yes, the Stugatz is strong in you. England became good because you became an American citizen.
It's a win-win. What does Bill Simmons call it? The Ewing theory. As soon as someone that was key to holding the bat leaves, then
how does that make you? That makes you.
So if I stop rooting for the Jets, they're going to win a Super Bowl. Like, how does this work?
What are you talking about?
It's a win-win though, because I get to become an American. One other note that is fascinating about this team that you gents might enjoy: they rarely score from open play. Almost all of their goals have come from set pieces. And one of the things that's fascinating, I think, for American fans to watch, their coach, this young guy, the waistcoat, he's done more for waistcoats since Annie Hall, a guy called Gareth Southgate. And he said he studied NBA teams, watching them do their set plays, how they create space. He's looked at the likes of Spolestra and Brad Stevens, and you watch England and at corner kicks, and you watch their footballers line up. It is just like watching an NBA team create space for themselves in ways that soccer players do not normally, and that's why they're having this incredible success. It's not that we're good at soccer finally. I think it's that we're bloody good at basketball.
Men in Blazers present Encyclopedia Blazer Tanica. It's available now on the Men in Blazers podcast, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's Spolstra, not Spolestra, although I like it better your way.
It's Spolestra. In England, you'd say Spolestra. It's also Bruno Mars, is how you pronounce it in England. God love all of you guys, and I can't wait to come back on when we conquer Croatia on Wednesday. I cannot wait for that game to be over, the biggest game of our generation. An England-France final would be the end of days.
Okay, let's end on
losing to France. Imagine.
Yeah, it would hurt. But let's end on that note, and we'll check back in with you on Wednesday. Thank you as always for being on with us.
Spolestra.
Yeah, whatever.
Bye, guys.
Fine. See you.
All right, see you. I mean, match point here for Isner.
Oh, match point.
Well, you know what the kid did? In a big point, he tried to throw a lob at Isner, and everyone knows you don't lob Isner. I mean, he's 7'7".
He is. You can't lob Isner.
Oh, he staved off a match point.
Sippas, and he's still in it, fighting his heart out.
Kid's flash guts. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. I like this kid.
No, you need him back today, though.
Yeah, I need him back.
Or tomorrow, because Isner will still play tomorrow.